Today I want to talk about Nextdoor. This is an up-and-coming social media network that's going public via SPAC. The ticker is KVSB, or Kozla Ventures Acquisition II. And this is an interesting one because Cathie Wood seems to be buying this one up. In fact, according to my count, she bought more than 2 million shares this week alone. And this is on top of the PIPE investment she made in the SPAC merger as well. So what exactly is she seeing here? But before we answer that question, I think it's important we hit the like button and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm and so you don't miss out on any future analysis that we do on this channel. If you're new here, my name is Bill Hawk. I do analysis on stocks and I'm going to talk about personal finance, investing, business, real estate, all kinds of things. The channel is new, so we're just getting started. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you watching. I'll get better at this. Okay, so Nextdoor. It was founded in 2011 as a niche social network for neighbors to discuss local events, exchange goods and services within the neighborhood, and just rate and support local businesses. It also seems like Nextdoor had a bigger purpose of promoting a friendlier environment in the neighborhood. In fact, their purpose is stated to cultivate a kinder world where everyone has a neighborhood they can rely on. I was actually very touched by this case study, which at the very least, it was just really good marketing.
Over a period of 10 years, my neighborhood went from being almost 98% black to being 98% white. So all of a sudden, oh God, I'm the suspicious looking black man. I posted on Nextdoor that I no longer felt comfortable walking in this neighborhood. The response I got was hundreds and hundreds of neighbors offering to walk with me. This experience moved me and changed the way I saw humanity.
I'm not a user, so I could have this wrong, but I see this as a marriage between Facebook and Yelp. So who is a user? Well, apparently 1 in every 3 households in the US have this app downloaded. And anytime you have that kind of scale, you're gonna have some sort of toxic behavior on the app, which Nextdoor had to address formally. But overall, I see this as a very successful app, which took a really long time to build, 10 years to be exact. Just as we do with any company we analyze here, we ask the question, what is Nextdoor's moat? So according to their SPAC investor presentation, Nextdoor believes their unique proposition is real people. So that's verified people with addresses, hyper-local proximity, trusted information, a local perspective, and instant distribution. What they mean by instant distribution is unlike any other social media platform, once you get on, you have an audience. So for example, I'm here on YouTube. I have less than 100 subscribers. Help a brother out. But as soon as you enter or join a new social media platform like YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, you don't have an automatic reach. Whereas with Nextdoor, you have that automatic reach, so it is very different. Nextdoor believes that there's a high barrier to entry in this niche market, which is why it took them 10 years to build. According to Vinod Khosla, the SPAC sponsor, there's a lot of difficulty in achieving critical mass due to the inherent challenges of marrying or bridging the online and offline world.
Competition in this market is unlikely to emerge as quickly as it does in social media. When Snap introduced stories, Instagram was quick to follow. When Clubhouse introduced audio chat, audio conversations, Spotify, Facebook, and Twitter were able to follow very, very quickly. Because of the inherent nature of online, offline neighborhood local networks, where it's harder to get critical mass, we think competition will be more muted than in the case of online-only networks.
So basically, they believe that Facebook won't have much success with neighborhoods. So wait, what is Facebook Neighborhoods? Quite honestly, it's just a copy of Nextdoor, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone at this point, given it's happened with Snapchat, TikTok, and Clubhouse so far. Facebook Neighborhoods is available only in Canada, but I don't see it on my app yet. But it should be out in select US cities very soon. So will Facebook have success with this? It's kind of hard to bet against Facebook, to be honest, but it could be that Nextdoor has something unique here. Okay, so our favorite part, well, probably our second, because first is to make money, but what is Nextdoor worth? What is the valuation? We'll start by looking at their users and their revenue. So of their total 60 million users, their total weekly active users is reported to be 27.6 million, which just for perspective is less than 1% of Facebook's 3.5 billion monthly active users. They grew revenues 49% in fiscal year 2020, whereas Facebook in the same period grew 22%. Now, both are really impressive, but they've also both benefited from the pandemic and surge in social networking activity from home during this period. But Nextdoor is forecasting this growth into 2021 and 2022, which we need to question. Based on their projected average revenue per weekly active user, or ARPU for short, they're forecasting, and I had to calculate this, 30 million weekly active users for 2021, which is an 11% year-over-year growth. So clearly, they can't hide the fact that the post-pandemic user growth has topped, because this was 37% in 2020. But they're forecasting to grow their weekly active users by another 28% in 2022. How this is going to happen? Well, it's going to happen by increasing penetration in their existing neighborhoods and international expansion. The most important comparison to make between Nextdoor and Facebook is the ARPU itself. So Nextdoor had an ARPU of $5.93 in 2021. Well, that's what they're expecting to have. And Facebook had an ARPU of $7.31 for the trailing 12 months. Nextdoor, in theory, should have a higher ARPU than Facebook because of the hyper-focused audience and the potential for advertisers to make more money from that audience. So naturally, their ARPU should be much higher. But Facebook's is a whole 23% higher. That's quite a bit. But I get it, Nextdoor is not a mature platform, nowhere near as mature as Facebook. So let's give it some time. But Facebook, funny enough, is still growing. Their ARPU is still growing, and they have potentially still more money left on the table, in my opinion. They haven't monetized WhatsApp and whatnot. So yeah, there's that. At a 3.5 billion enterprise value, Nextdoor is trading at 14.2 times revenue. Even with the benchmarks they highlight, it honestly doesn't seem very cheap to me. And again, just for perspective, Facebook is currently trading at a 9 times multiple, which is much cheaper. I do, however, like that the existing shareholders are retaining majority of the shares, and the CEO, Sarah Friar, who is an ex-CFO at Square, is also putting money into the pipe. This is amazing to see because it shows how much confidence they have in the platform and its future. Okay, so if you haven't figured it out by now, let's answer the question. Should you buy Nextdoor? Nextdoor has experienced incredible growth and has been very successful in building a platform with a unique proposition for its users and its advertisers. I also like the fact that the leadership team is really bought into this platform in the future, which they're putting their money where their mouth is. I also like the fact that they're making money, unlike other SPACs out there. But like any successful social network, Facebook has decided to copy it. Which, can Facebook crush Nextdoor? I wouldn't bet against them, but there's a chance Nextdoor can survive this. There's a chance Nextdoor has really built something unique. But the stock isn't cheap. So that's the problem I have with Nextdoor. I just don't see the risk reward, and honestly, it's hard for me to justify not just buying more shares of Facebook given the valuation, and Facebook is still growing. So that's my 2 cents on this stock. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you like it. Don't get mad at me if it doesn't align with your thoughts or Cathie's thoughts. But I really appreciate it if you like this video. Subscribe to my newsletter to stay up to date. Thank you for watching, and I hopefully see you on the next one.